In recent news, the divorce between Nmplol and Malena appears to be nearing its conclusion, but new comments from Nmplol are reigniting discussion about what happened behind the scenes during the settlement process. During a recent discussion, Nmplol opened up about one of the biggest sticking points in the divorce negotiations, sharing in the following.
This is essentially the crux of the entire trial. I mentioned earlier that Malena wanted a disproportionate share of the estate. She wanted a 60-40 split of the entire estate, but it was a little bit more complicated than that. What she wanted to do essentially was have her 60% be all cash and my 40% be heavily weighted in my OTK shares. She wanted about 90% of the cash reserves, plus she wanted me to pay her this post-divorce maintenance, and my 40% would be essentially all in my OTK shares, which no one really knows what those are worth. This was the biggest point of contention in the trial for me. I don't think anyone would have accepted the offer that was presented in front of them. Essentially, it would drain me to 10% cash reserves, be in debt a whole bunch of money. So I would put a lot of trust in those OTK shares being worth something someday. So that is just about half of the document. And I don't know if I should say this, but now it gets kind of funny, and I'm gonna explain to you. To summarize, it was essentially the same exact offer that I had offered her back in March and April of 2025, with the exception of the extra $15K. This court case lasted well over a year. It cost over $400,000 in lawyer fees, expert fees, and in my opinion, most of it was unnecessary. But I had to go. I had no choice. If I was to continue to stream through everything, people would have been harassing me about it the entire time, like they did when I first started. And I do believe that me not streaming was the quickest way to come to a conclusion with this divorce. So there was a lot of rumors and things that kind of spawned from this case because documents were leaked and people made up their own theories and ran with them. I could sit here and diffuse all of them. It'd be pretty easy because none of them were true. But honestly, I got the ruling that I wanted, and I'm not going to do that. I might mention them on the podcast with Chance, where we can do it in a less informal environment. But that's essentially kind of what happened. That's the story. That's where I've been. You know, it really does suck that things ended up this way with me and Malena. We spent well over 10 years together. It just ended up being that way. It's the road that we had to walk, and it's over. There was a whole bunch of different dramas and things that happened behind the scenes that people would find really interesting, but I'm not trying to throw any shade at anybody or at this point. If I don't have to talk about that, I won't. Speaking for me emotionally, this whole thing has been quite stressful. There's been so many things said about me that just aren't true. It was somewhat exhausting. And once I got this ruling, I literally broke down and cried. Like I was like sobbing tears, you know, that it was finally over. I wish Malena and her family the best. I have no ill will towards them. Hopefully things go well for them, and I'm just ready to get back to work. I want to give this another try, see if I can still do it. So that's the summary. Again, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thanks for watching, and fuck you.
Some viewers were shocked by the figure Nmplol described. They argued that if the proposal was accurately represented, it would be difficult for most people to accept giving up such a large percentage of their available cash, while also taking on future financial obligations. Others, however, felt the focus on percentages was missing the bigger picture. A number of commenters argued that Malena deserved substantial compensation following the end of the marriage, with some claiming she played a major role in helping build the content, brand and lifestyle that contributed to their success over the years. Several supporters of Malena went even further, arguing that she deserved an even larger share than what was being discussed. These comments were often tied to broader opinions about the relationship and the circumstances surrounding their separation, rather than the legal details of the settlement itself. The discussion also reignited long-running debates surrounding the origins of their relationship. Some commenters repeated allegations that have circulated within parts of the community for years, while others pushed back and argued that many of those claims remain heavily disputed and often rely on speculation rather than publicly verified facts. As with most conversations involving high-profile streamer breakups, the debate quickly became less about the actual legal negotiations and more about who people believed was morally in the right. Supporters of Nmplol viewed the alleged settlement demand as excessive and evidence that the negotiations became unreasonable at certain points. Supporters of Malena argued that financial figures alone don't tell the full story, and that years of contributions to the relationship and shared business ventures should be considered when evaluating what would be fair. Nick White doubles down on the backlash and doesn't want women in his future games.
The fact that this becomes a political thing, like, oh, here's just another incel outrage movement. They don't want the woman. They hate women. No, it's not about hating women. It's not political at all. Every game is Kratos. Killing gods and it's Kratos. The game is Kratos. So I don't want to be a woman. The whole game is built off Kratos.
During a recent appearance on the Mighty Cast podcast, Ninja pushed back on the idea that Drake was solely responsible for his success. He explained that before the famous collaboration ever happened, he was already one of the biggest creators on Twitch. Ninja pointed out that many people forget how massive Fortnite had already become, and how quickly his own channel was growing during that period. Ninja speaks out in the following.
Right when you started playing Fortnite, and then I felt like when you hit your peak, the start of the climb of the peak, and you correct me if I'm wrong, was you had Drake, and I feel like you had Nicki Minaj. I don't know who else was on there. I remember Drake.
It was Travis Scott, Drake, and Juju Smith-Schuster.
Okay, and you guys were all playing
trio.
Fortnite together.
Yeah.
And then what did you guys get to concurrent viewers on Twitch?
So that was, I think we peaked at like 590,000. And then we, so that definitely, dude, like without a doubt, like, so before, people don't know this, before that happened, I was averaging already like 80 to 100,000 viewers.
Yeah, yes,
like,
you were.
So like people, like a lot of people will be like, do I think that put me on the map like everywhere else in like pop culture and like globally? 100%. Like it's not even a question. But in terms of like streaming, like I was already pulling the numbers. I was already popping off, man. I was already pulling 4 million, 5 million, 6 million, 7 million views a YouTube video, just literally uploading gameplay from my stream, just cutting it, uploading it, you know, dropping 20 eliminations, whatever.
Yep.
But
because you're putting the work in, that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like you were fucking killing it. Like when you're playing,
I don't think I got on Drake's radar, bro. Like
exactly, yeah. You're building and you were killing people, and then you were doing like 20 bombs, 25 bombs, and you win the game.
Many people pointed out that by the time the Drake stream happened, Ninja was already dominating Twitch and Fortnite. They argued that the collaboration didn't create his audience; it simply exposed him to a much larger one. Several commenters noted that Ninja was already either the biggest streamer on the platform or rapidly becoming the biggest streamer before Drake ever appeared. From that perspective, the Drake stream wasn't the beginning of Ninja's rise, it was the moment that accelerated it. Others echoed a similar sentiment, saying Ninja was already a household name within gaming circles, but the Drake collaboration pushed him beyond gaming and into mainstream culture. Suddenly, people who had never touched Fortnite or watched Twitch knew who Ninja was. Some viewers also looked back on the stream itself, remembering just how chaotic and historic it felt in real time. Fans recalled Drake, Travis Scott, and Ninja all playing together while hundreds of thousands of viewers watched live, creating one of the most memorable moments in streaming history. Extra Emily walked her robot dog in public and attended a dog park.
Okay, Ben. Come on, buddy. Let's go. How cute. Wait, he shaked. Oh, they hate it. Oh, don't worry, guys. Ben comes in peace. He's a little scary sometimes. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. Amazing. You have a robot too. That's so cool. Yes, nice to meet you guys. His name is Ben.
Rest in peace!